you might be looking at it on that perspective, though. But you know, I mean, if I should take away the protocol aspect of it, though, I just think that shouldn't be the criteria that they use to choose like an actor for Bob Marley, especially when representing a culture that the artist live by. Because that's why I said before, and if you have an artist who is like they speak, what if Bob Marley speaks a different language? Would they still go about it in that way? You go about using somebody who speaks a different language, but that person represent Bob Marley the way you want them to represent him. So, yeah, I think they might be looking at it on that perspective. Just to answer your question, but I disagree with that.
All right, let me read a couple chats before I ask you the next question, Carlos. Miami Mobster says Kimani is too gangster. That's not what they're trying to sell. It's more of a commercial movie. What say you, Carlos?
All right. You see, if we are saying that Kimani is gangster, are we using all right? Kimani, I don't want to say it wrong. Kimani acted in is it? He acted in Shatters, right?
Yeah, he was the main.
All
He
right,
was the lead guy in Shutters. He did a very good job, actually.
all right. He acted in Shatters. So if we're gonna use the persona of Kimani Marley in the Shatters to use that to say he's gangster, then we're not looking at the artist's versatility. I want to say that
Mm.
we really do not give that Kimani Marley the chance to represent himself as being the person that represent Bob Marley.
Mm.
More largely is the biopic about Marley. So I don't think, I mean, regardless of what you might think about, I mean, there are versatilities because if you look at it in that way, there are actors who acted in violent movies, but they still acted in a movie where they show their softer side. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So I would not necessarily agree with that.
Right. I think he has it in him. I don't think. I think he has it in him to where he could be more than just playing a gangster role. I think. I don't think he should be reduced to that. I'm not sure how serious he takes acting. You know what I mean? Because I mean, he is a musician. You know, for the most part, but. I mean, I would imagine he takes acting serious since he did Shutters, and you know, especially since it did that well. So you know, it would be interesting to see Kimani play that role, you know. But we don't
Yeah,
know. I mean,
I think he can. I think he can play that
yeah,
role. Yeah.
yeah,
I think Kimani Marley can play that role only if we give him the chance. Because as I said before, yeah, I mean Bob Marley is his dad, and
and,
he knows more about Bob Marley probably more than any. Well, you know what?
and to keep. Oh, go ahead.
Maybe he really maybe there are more people out there who knew more about Bob Marley than Kymani Marley because Kymani Marley is a fairly young guy, I would think. But in the sense that Bob Marley, I'm father. You like to think that him study him like him the father lifestyle in and out and yes, I would think that he really can represent his dad if we're not looking we're looking at the gangster side of his acting persona.
You know, I was gonna go right there, you know, because that's the question I was gonna ask. Bob
Yeah,
Marley wasn't no pushover, bro. Bob Marley
yeah.
was, you know, what I mean, Bob Marley was a tough. How you think them get the name Tough Gang? Bob Marley was a, you know, what I mean, was had respect in the streets. You know what I mean? So Bob Marley had somewhat of a kind of gangster element to him. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to spoil the legend name, but I mean, people who know his history know that Bob Marley was a respected man in the street. You know what I mean? Even though that wasn't what he was about, he was about peace and love. But you're not just gonna step to Bob Marley like that. So there was kind of somewhat of a gangster element to the Bob Marley persona.
Yeah, that's true. Because and then and 'cause most of the time, I think people are mostly seeing just this cool, calm, and the Rastafarism aspect of Bob Marley, not knowing that Bob Marley is human. And
Right? Exactly.
once you're human, you're prone to getting angry, and you're gonna do things that are outside of the norm. So we just looking at it like we just look at this movie should be polished. If we're gonna do a biopic, I think this biopic has to it has to be like cover every grounds and every life of Bob Marley, seeing everything that he had. Remember, I said Bob Marley also. I think he got shot. Remember that? And all those things. So Bob Marley, like he wasn't like living like this. Like I'm not gonna say like he was involved in violence, but Bob Marley was a rebel. You know, he was a rebel. Not
Exactly.
he was a rebel.
Exactly.
So
He was a
yeah,
rebel. You
yeah.
know.
Remember, I say
So
Bob
so
Marley.
so you have to be an actor and you to play Bob Marley. you have to have a little rebel in you as well. You
Yeah,
can't be a little softy youth, you know what I mean? And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some guys that they're just actors. I mean, that's what acting is about. But even as an actor, for you to play a certain role, like if you don't have to be living that way, but you have to put yourself in that element to where you can portray.
exactly. And I agree with that because remember, Bob Marley is the same artist that sings that say, I shot the sheriff.
Right,
Bob,
right,
Bob say, I shot the sheriff. So you can see that Bob Marley already, he has a perspective in his head about like how the world operate and how he has to use self defense and
right.
heroes through life and everything. So you get to see like this different side of Bob Marley. It's knowing that he wasn't really just this right. I want to say this righteous because no, I don't think like as human being we all have flaws.
Right,
We all have
right.
our vices. So if we look at it in that perspective, then we can say that Bob Marley, of course, he wasn't a perfect human being. So if he wasn't a perfect human being, we are thinking about not just somebody who is have to be this polished guy to say, oh, this has to be a guy who represent my father
Right.
because we want to make money off this. Because I don't know if the aim is really to make money or just to really continue with the popularity of Bob Marley. Bob Marley is already popular, but so that to let Bob Marley name continue to live on. I'm not sure if it's so much about money making. Probably you can tell me, Tristan, because I would like to think what is the real aim behind this biopic because Bob Marley is already he's
Well,
already known.
I mean, I think from what BL Boss's take was on it, it sounded to me like it was just like an executive decision to do something that's financially motivated. Not that any of these people involved in the film are in need of anything, but at the end of the day, I mean, these guys are spending millions and millions of dollars investing in this movie, and you want to give the movie enough quality in order to get people to fill those seats and support the movie.
I think there's
Um,
a pause. I think there's a pause, right? There's a pause in it each time you're talking. There's a pause.
how's it? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Yes. What I'm saying is, not that these people that are involved in the movie are wanting anything, but financially, in essence that they spent millions of dollars investing in the movie, and they want to recoup what they made and some. You know what I mean? So um, they're gonna give the movie the best quality possible, with the best actors, the best production crew, and everything like that, the best marketing in order to for it to be worthwhile. Because I mean, it would be nice that that movie came out and it flopped at the box office. It didn't make any money. It wouldn't look good. It would be honestly, it would kind of be a stain on his legacy in a sense. That they couldn't make a profitable movie for Bob Marley, even though it wouldn't have been Bob Marley's fault. But I mean, a chink on the belt is still a chink on the belt, regardless of whose fault it is.
Yes, I mean, yes. I see where you're coming from with this, but the facts still remain that Bob Marley has a legacy which will continue to live on, and if they are doing this to benefit from it financially, I think the facts still remain that we have to represent who Bob Marley live for
Right.
and his thought process and everything. We have to have that same kind of message being sent in his biopic. And so I just think like they probably they need to revisit some of it, but I mean it's probably too late because I mean I think everything is already finalized, and that's why we are in this dialogue right now because there are disagreements because Jamaicans on the other and in the diaspora are thinking that we don't want the Bob Marley to be represented in that fashion, you know.
Right.
So I just think like it will continue to create a dialogue as long as they continue to stick by this motive and saying that they want to have that same person representing Bob Marley.
Right.
It will continue to be like that. But I can't I can bet that a lot of Jamaicans and a lot of overseas are not happy with this. But on the other hand, Tristan, if you are doing a business though, and you are thinking about the how you can benefit more from your business,
Right.
aren't you gonna probably go about it in a way in which you can go about it in such a way where you're gonna go for the best, because you want to ensure that if it's a service that you're offering, you can target that market and get those customers. And if it's a product that you're selling, you can have your product out there and ensure that you have a guaranteed market. So I guess what they're trying to do, if they're trying to give like a more crisp version of patois, if you have that, are they trying to standardize our dialect to make it be more friendly international, so that, I mean, they can say, oh yeah, this is what Bob Marley stands for, and the world will accept it.
Did
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry. Yeah, you
Did
can go
did
ahead.
did you did you watch the preview? Did you watch the preview?
If I watch the preview,
Right. Yeah.
all right. Honestly though, to be honestly, I never watched the preview, so I cannot speak on anything about the preview. So,
You didn't watch the
eh,
preview?
wait, so the preview of the movie?
Yeah. 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 The trailer.
Oh, well, I just said a synopsis of it. I think you were talking about. I just said a synopsis of it, but I cannot speak largely on it though.
Right.
Yeah.
We. I can't speak that much largely on it either. I mean, the
Mm.
information that I presented today in the slide that we started the live with is basically the meat and the potatoes of what they put out so far. Um, I'm sure there's probably more information out there, but I think I didn't want to get too in depth with it, because everybody might not care much about all the other additional details, but I just wanted to kind of get to the point. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All right. So, question, right? should should Jamaican actors do anything different to be on the Hollywood radar?
Can actors do anything different on the Hollywood radar too?
Should Jamaican actors do anything different in order to be picked up on the Hollywood radar for moments like these, or roles like these?
Well, yes, they can, but it will still go back to my same narrative. If it's gonna if you're gonna represent, if you're gonna do a movie wherein it's for, like, because Bob Marley movie is for the international audience, not to sidetrack away from what you're talking about. Bob
Right.
Marley movie is for the international audience, right? So if you, as I said, if you're gonna have like an actor that you're looking for, the actor, even if the actor is not even Jamaican, the actor must be able to at least speak out the language, so that, like, others can connect to them and say, this is somebody who's representing Jamaica.
Right.
On the
Right.
other end though, if it was a different kind of movie wherein it is not so much about a Jamaican, then I could see where, like, they're gonna expect a more standard and crisp, polished form of language, so that and more likely come from somebody who has that demeanor and have that experience, you
Right.
know. So to answer your question, I would think yes, if they're gonna represent for a movie wherein the mass is looking for a crisp language, then our actors need to do better in that regards.
So I think I brought up earlier that they need to
Yeah.
well, it wasn't me. It was BL Boss